About a month before writing the script, an article came out that said, Jim Henson's Creature Shop working on FNAF movie animatronics. Wait, is Freddy Fazbear now a Muppet? And also, what is a Muppet? Is it a puppet? Is it a marionette puppet? Where's the line for what is and is it a Muppet? Now, before we get too deep into this rabbit hole, there are a couple of things we do need to discuss. Jim Henson's Creature Shop was started in 1978 as pre-production for The Dark Crystal began. The Muppet Workshop was started up in 1963 in New York, and worked mostly on The Muppet Show. There's another one in London that was mainly used for maintenance of the Muppets, close to where a set was. And finally, the Jim Henson Company was also started in New York City, and was primarily made for working on talk shows, ads, and Sam and Friends.
Sam and Friends is brought to you by SK.
The most recognizable shows with Muppets in them are The Muppet Show, Fraggle Rock, and Sesame Street. The term Muppet was first used by Jim Henson while working on Sam and Friends.
Bringing you the very finest and hold it! You're interrupting me, man. You can't do a weather show. Why not? WRC's already got one. Frank Forrester just finished it 5 minutes ago.
In a 1982 interview with Cinefantastique, Jim Henson said,
The Muppets are sort of fuzzy, bright-colored, cute, lovable caricatures that we know from The Muppet Show. Fraggle Rock also drops under the term Muppets.
So cool. Muppets are fuzzy, bright-colored characters from The Muppet Show, Fraggle Rock, and Sesame Street. And I guess we could put Sam and Friends in that category too, because it's something else that Jim Henson worked on that has bright, fuzzy, and colorful characters. But what else has Jim Henson worked on? Oh, it looks like we have our work cut out for us. So, apparently Jim Henson worked on talk shows before his start on Sam and Friends and The Muppet Show.
Oh, have I got a terrible cold?
I noticed.
Yeah, I know where I caught it, too.
Really?
What?
Would you mind sneezing the other way?
What other way is there?
He was on the Steve Allen Show, the Jack Parr program, and the
Ed Sullivan
Show. And it was for the Jimmy Dean Show that actually came up with Ralph.
Achoo, achoo-choo, cha-cha-cha.
No, wait a minute. Come here, look. Well, look, I'm concerned. Look at you. How did you catch it?
Oh, well, remember that when we got out of the cab in front of the studio last night?
Yeah.
Did you see that deep puddle of ice and slush?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh.
Right up to my knees in it, you know.
Yeah.
Now I've got the virus, or maybe the grip, or the flu.
In terms of advertising, Jim Henson worked on advertisements for Wilkins Coffee.
If you don't drink Wilkins coffee, you're not all there.
Oh, that's a lot of...
In fact, without Wilkins coffee, you're nowhere. You know, people who don't drink Wilkins coffee just blow up sometimes.
Oh, that's a lot of...
See what I mean?
I can get you Wilkins coffee for a price.
I wouldn't touch it.
There's no future in an attitude like that.
So cool, talk shows created Ralph. Wilkin and Wonkins are Muppets as well. So let's take a look at the movies created by Jim Henson. Okay, so this is where creatures come into play. In the same interview with Cinefantastique, Jim Henson had this to say.
So you know that my feeling about puppetry relates to stylization, simplicity, boiling down to. It's a wonderful form, and I really love it. But with Dark Crystal, instead of puppetry, what we're going towards is a sense of realism, towards a reality of creatures that they're actually alive. And when we're mixing up puppetry and all other kinds of techniques, it's into the same bag as like E.T. or Yoda, wherein You're trying to create something that people will actually believe. But it's not so much a symbol of things, but you're trying to do the thing itself.
Okay, cool. So if the Dark Crystal doesn't have Muppets due to the realism of the characters involved with it, then this makes it a whole lot easier to determine what is and what is not a Muppet. So if the difference between a Muppet and a creature is realism, then the characters from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that's coming up must be creatures. Stop. I know we've come to a conclusion, but the video is not over yet. Don't click off of it. If anything, hit that subscribe button and the bell thing for whatever the hell that does. So we'll be taking every single movie directly related to anything Jim Henson has worked on involving non-humans, classifying these monstrosities as either creatures or Muppets. Obviously, there's been some things that we've already classified in this video, and so we'll just put them up in their respective categories. And we won't be able to cover everything he has worked on, or else we would be here all day. Easy enough. Muppet. Muppets. Creatures. Creatures because the Scarecrow gave me nightmares. Creatures except for David Bowie's character, he's a Muppet of a man. Dear God, who greenlit this movie? Barely a creature. Same as the bear. Muppets. Dear God, why 2? Secret of the Ooze. Creature. Dear God, why 3? Creatures. Barely a creature. Doesn't count. Wait, they only worked on the third one? Creature. Muppets. Barely a creature? Creature. Non-applicable. Oh, cool. Muppets. Non-applicable. Barely a creature. Creature. Barely a creature. Creature. Barely a creature. Creature. Fever dream. Barely a creature. Creature, I guess? Non-applicable. Oh, cool. Muppets again. Muppets. Muppets! Barely a creature. Creature. Barely a creature. Muppet. Non-applicable. Barely a creature. A sin against God's earth. This little rat deserves to rot for the crimes against humanity he has committed. Creature. Now, it may seem like barely a creature, but like, the bears creep me out enough to be considered creatures. Muppets? Creature. Barely a creature? Oh, I've seen this one! Creature! They worked on this movie? I'm not sure. So creature. Muppets. Creatures. Muppets. I miss Jason Segel. Creature. Muppets. Where did we put cats and dogs? We need to put that one just in there. Creatures. Creatures. Muppets. Creature. Creature. Sin against God's earth. And finally, Muppet. But wait, you may be saying in a parasocial way directly to your monitor. I thought FNAF movie was gonna be considered a creature. Well, the truth is, I don't know. I'm just the dude. Well, the truth is we don't quite know yet. At the time of filming this, there's only been one image that has appeared from the set of this movie of the actual animatronics themselves. And it has been of the Springtrap suit. And honestly, it looks anthropomorphic enough to be considered a Muppet. Think of Sweetums, right? You know, Sweetums, this big, brown, hairy guy, you know, just a real lad, you know. He's a Muppet. Even though he looks like a creature, he still is a Muppet. he reminds me of the creatures from Where the Wild Things Are. So in determining if something is or is not a Muppet, there's a lot to take into account. So I don't have all the answers. We'll really know when this movie comes out. For example, Jim Parsons plays the human version of Walter. So in my own headcanon, all of The Big Bang Theory and all of Young Sheldon are Muppet shows. In determining if something is or is not a Muppet, there's a lot to consider. Some things are Muppets, and some things are not. There are definitions, but those definitions can apply to things of the other category. Is there a good bit of me that wishes that Five Nights at Freddy's could be considered a Muppet movie? Yes. Is a lot of this up for debate? Yes. So I wrap up this video by asking you, is William Afton a man of a Muppet, or a Muppet of a man?